Y'all, I'm back again with T and NK. We are coming to you guys to talk about how you can properly and effectively change your mindset, your mentality. As I've stated in previous videos, I am on a journey to change my life, to change my spirit, and just become a better woman overall. And so why not ask two great women, two great black women, how they were able to change their mindset from financial, education, physical, everything, how they were able to respectfully present themselves to the world. So I guess I start with NK. How were you able to just change the idea of being a statistic female, black female in America?
I want to say that I am a very good observer. I observe life. I observe other people's lives. I have certain people that I've been around in life that I don't necessarily agree with what I see, what they do, or my family members. Certain ways I don't want to end up. Okay. So I've had to a lot of times sit back and reflect and meditate and realize things about myself that I don't necessarily like, or that not even that I don't necessarily like all the time, but sometimes that I just might want to aspire to be like. And then I started thinking of what are ways to mold my thinking and my practices to get to a certain goal of how I would like to be.
And what ways did you come up with, or what methods did you come up with that help you to become the intelligent woman that you are today?
Like I said, I feel like I observe a lot, I read a lot, and then I spend a lot of time with myself. And
can you say that just a tad bit louder?
Yeah.
Females don't know how to spend time to themselves, to know themselves.
Yeah, so I spend a whole lot of time by myself, whether it be going to ride a longboard. I spend a lot of time doing that. Spending time in my own space, gardening and doing my artwork and things. Just finding different ways to have outlets so that I can. How do I put this? And if I express the way I want, then I can receive as well. So I can start changing my mentality. I hope that explains it.
It makes sense. I hope y'all understand what she's trying to say. And for T, how did you go about trying to change your mentality? Because most people don't know. I met T at school, and when I met her, I knew instantly, just by her presence, that she was not your ordinary female, and let alone black female. And so what are some of the things, or sacrifice, or just behaviors that you decided not to do so that you can better yourself? And change your mindset, not even just better yourself, but change your mindset.
Ooh, sacrifices. Yeah. Well, I think as a child, I was always very obedient. I put a lot of effort into listening to what my elders taught me and putting that into practice. And so I think
practice is a good word.
Yeah, to practice it. For me, one of the biggest step that I took in my transition towards becoming who I am and moving forward towards who I will be was, one, making the choice inside of myself to deal with the truth. Mm-hmm. And that was probably the hardest decision that I had to make, because we know what's true, we know it's a lie, but at the same time, a lot of times we justify doing things that we may not want, or we may know are not for us, because we haven't made the decision to tell the truth inside of ourselves about who we are, what we want, what we know, what we experience, for whatever reason. Sometimes it may just be, you know what, I'm trying to justify why I should do this thing with this person, but I really know that it's not even about this person at all. I'm just lonely, or I'm just tripping, or I'm angry and I need somebody to reflect. And rather than acknowledge that, put it out there internally or externally sometimes, and acknowledge that, we move forward with trying to distract ourselves from the truth so that we don't have to deal with it. And so I think in this journey of moving forwards toward being your authentic self, and really living in your full womanhood, there has to be a commitment to telling the truth, at the very, very, very least, to yourself, and walking in truth.
And I want to piggyback off of that a little bit. Just also being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Not being
not that comfort zone.
Yeah, not being completely set in your ways, knowing that the truth might hurt and that there might be pain with it, but beyond the pain is bliss and blessing and all that.
Sacrifices.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice the image that you want the world to see in order to be the person that you need to be.
That's well said. I want to know, like, if there's someone watching this, or even me, since I'm on this journey and I'm still trying to learn, what advice can you give me to help me change my mentality and just become a better woman overall? Whether it's spirituality, getting to know myself, like you guys already mentioned, and the people you surround yourself with, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. So, like, what advice would you give me or anyone else that really needs, especially as mothers? This is really, I want women, period, but especially of mothers, because we are role models. We really need to know how to change our mentality. How can you two ladies, help us with that or give us some advice?
I think of a line in one of Erykah Badu's songs that has like remained with me throughout my young adulthood. And it's when she says, "Don't believe everything you think. We've been programmed. Wake up, we miss you." And so I just constantly remind myself, like, don't get so set in my thoughts thinking that that's the right way to think.
So basically being open-minded for change.
Being completely open-minded. And a mentor of mine once told me, this has stuck with me forever, that things are subject to change. And if you think about growth, things are always constantly changing.
That's
you
the
can't
word,
stay stagnant, because
if
you stand stagnant, you're pretty much dead. Like, so
without no growth, there is no change in mentality.
Right. So just not being so set in your way of thoughts, being open to change.
Yeah, and I think going off of that, and touching back on like dealing with the truth, I think that there's this idea, we all have this ideal self. Right, our perfect self. If we could just wake up in the morning and birds would fly in through the window and help us to do our hair, and we would be the perfect size and perfectly make our breakfast the way that we need. And if we just did everything right, our best selves would look like this. And all of the maybe negative characteristics about ourselves, all of the things that we're not so proud of, or the things that we don't really see value in, all of that would disappear. And we would just be this wonderful, amazing person. And that's really not what this journey is like or about, and it's not a realistic expectation. So when you spend all your time trying to be this perfect self, you really create two selves. You create your perfect self, the one who does everything right, who looks the way that you want to look, who says the things that you want to say, who does all the things that you want to do. And then you have the other you, let's say the shadow you, the side of you that what you look like when you don't feel like getting up and getting dressed, what you look like when you don't feel like always spouting.
Would that be like your normal self?
Not necessarily your normal self. Let's just say for
the you show to the world.
The you show to the world, and the you hide from the world.
Okay.
And those two become two separate and distinct things, right? And so when you try to perpetrate and always live in positive land and always live in this I'm my best self land, and don't really acknowledge or deal with these aspects of yourself that you may not be happy about, you create a dichotomy. You split yourself into two. And now there's good you and there's bad you.
And that prevents you from changing your mentality?
It prevents you from changing your mentality, because you spend so much time punishing or trying to hide this aspect of yourself.
Forgetting who you are.
Right.
Like that.
Rather than actually dealing with it. Like, You know, and so I think when you move through the world as two separate people, like leading a double life, you lose yourself. And then don't even get me started on trying to have a relationship with somebody else who's also lost. So now it's good you, bad you, good them, bad them. Y'all got 4 people in a relationship. It's too much, you know. And then even as you go through this journey and you realize, okay, I'm these good aspects about myself. I'm also these other aspects about myself that I don't see as good, but they're a part of me, and they can be. When they come together, they create one whole unit. You know, I eat a lot of food. I love it.
They do, but they sacrifice. They put in the time in the gym.
Right. And so, like, rather than if I wanted to keep up this perfect image, then I would say, oh no, like I only need a salad and that's it. I'm okay. I don't need to eat anything else. And I'm neglecting this whole other aspect of myself. But if I just acknowledge, yo, I be eating, y'all, then it opens up this whole other realm because I can also throw down in the kitchen. Yeah. But the reason I can cook is because I like to eat. And so this thing that was like maybe on the surface level could be perceived as a negative aspect or not the best characteristic, by embracing it, I'm able to take who I am as a woman to a whole nother level. Because not only am I going to throw down, but we're going to enjoy eating it together because I'm going to make it for you the way that I would want to eat it and with the love and the care that I give to myself and that I want to share with you. And so it's about bringing those things together. And not running from who you are, but being the fullness of yourself.
And I also want to say, as well as eliminating what you know to be distractions around you as well.
Such as?
I would say such as, and not saying completely get rid of, because we know these days and time we have to live with technology to be part of society. But just trying not to let them consume you, like the social media and like the television that's constantly giving you this image of who you should be. Just trying to eliminate that and balance it with more of like spending time with like-minded people or people that you aspire to have that type of lifestyle, or reading books or
getting out in nature.
Yeah, all that'll teach you, especially sitting in nature, will teach you a whole lot about yourself. Yeah, but just trying to eliminate distractions that you know are distractions, or even just recognizing distractions.
Right, acknowledging that.
So, what sacrifices did you guys go through to become the young women, the intelligent, incredible young women that you guys are? Okay, you can go. Or see.
I'm gonna have to think about that one for a second.
For me, it was a lot of long, hard, lonely years.
Because, yes, I don't know if this is too personal, but when I had met you a little time after that, you shared with me something inspiring. And I was like, well, you did that and you're doing that. And I don't know if you mind sharing that with the people. If you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
But with your sacrifices of keeping yourself, covering up yourself, and things like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so...
and that's a sacrifice. And that also helped you change your mentality, I'm sure.
That's true. That's very true. When I got serious about deciding that I wanted to embrace who I am fully and also manifest what is meant for me, I decided to consecrate my decision both mentally but also spiritually and physically signify that. And so I made the decision to cover my hair, cover my locks. And I did that. I'm still in the process of doing that for a certain period of time. And this was a conversation that I had between myself and the Creator. I made some requests. I made some declarations, and in exchange for being led down this path to where I was trying to go, I decided to sacrifice my vanity and to cover my hair for a certain period of time. And it's funny that you mentioned that. I know for a lot of women that would seem like drastic, and it would seem like something crazy and very difficult to do. And looking back on it now, it did seem a bit overwhelming when I first started. But knowing that knowing that this was taking me closer to where I wanted to be, and that this was something that I could do to prove that I was dedicated, both to myself and to the Most High, was very powerful, and it helped me to move forward in covering my hair. And as time went on, people reacted to me differently. I reacted to myself differently. My thoughts and mentality changed, but also I began to see within my life different opportunities open up. Different types of people were attracted to me, and different types of situations and experiences that I would have never been able to have.
And this is all from changing your mentality and presenting yourself and making sacrifices, right?
Being disciplined.
Right.
Yes, having the discipline. Because it's not enough to just make a sacrifice. A sacrifice is something that happens quickly. It's instantaneous. I'm going to give this up. Okay, it's gone now. I can't do anything about it. But when you make a decision to be disciplined within your sacrifice, it's making the same choice over and over again every single day. I'm gonna sacrifice my meal so that my children can eat. Okay, well that happens one day, but are you willing to sacrifice maybe the types of things that you're buying so that your children can eat well?
Right.
Are you able to sacrifice your own comforts and desires that you're feeding with this food by switching to a different type of diet or doing different things like that? It's a continuous decision. It's a continuous process. It's continuous progress. So that now today, over 6 years later, for me, I wake up and wrap my hair up and it's nothing. I have women come to me all the time, be like, can you teach me how to wrap? I'm like, it's just a piece of cloth. It's a piece of cloth. You put it on your head.
And
I guarantee you, if you took a piece of cloth and you tied it around your head every single day for 7 years, then you would have no problem tying that piece of cloth around you, and you would know how to do it. And that's just part of it. It's the sacrifice and also the dedication to continue through. And also acknowledge that you're not perfect and you may make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that you quit, and it doesn't mean that you stop. You keep moving forward as best you can.
Okay, so after a little thought, I don't think necessarily there was a personal sacrifice, but I think that I sacrificed the acceptance of others, which in turn made them accept me anyway over the years. And then I also think that I sacrificed having others understand who I am.
How did you do that?
Just by not caring, not
simple as that.
Yeah, not caring what they think, and then not letting them make me feel a certain way about who I am. Just totally dismissing how they think about me.
And so, what we have mentioned the word growth a few times. Like, what actual actions or what things that you guys do or say just in order to change your mentality? Like, did you stop hanging around people? Like you said, did you get off the electronics? Like, what exactly did you guys do, just to give an example?
I know in particular, not that I necessarily stopped being around people on purpose, but we kind of just parted ways naturally. And so what's something else that I've done? Like I said, I spend a lot of time by myself in thought, in meditation, in nature, and I feel like the Most High downloads into me a lot just off of that.
Yeah, I think that's really important, is being with yourself without distractions. I think that's one of the biggest things that you can do to really start that journey. Because when you don't have your phone, when you don't have YouTube videos, when you don't have all of these different things to turn to
tell you how to think,
to tell you how to think, to tell you how to feel, to tell you what you feel. Yeah, no matter where you go, there you are. So you got to learn how to deal with yourself. And
so basically, learn yourself.
Absolutely.
And when you learn yourself, eventually that will enlighten you. Like, okay, you change your mentality.
Right.
Okay.
And if you have children, then it's like, your child.
Yeah.
You know that when it hits a certain time, your child's gonna get sleepy. They're gonna want this, so you can choose to act as though you don't know your child and have them out at the time when you know they're about to get sleepy and cut up. Or you can be back inside, you can have the blanket ready, you can have the snacks, you know they're going to fight it a little bit, you got to make sure you get the music playing right, you set yourself up for success. And so if you're going to do that with your child, you can also do that with yourself. And that actually reminds me of something my best friend told me that really helped recently in my journey. Was that a lot of us, especially as Black women, we don't always have the parental figures that we would have wanted to teach us the things that we feel we need to know in order to be an effective, functional adult. And my best friend told me, he said, you know, whatever your parents did or didn't do for you, that's there. But now you're at the age where you got to mother yourself. So if you were your own mother, and you were looking at yourself, I'm sitting here, I ain't bathed, you know, today, I haven't eaten, I'm cranky, I just want to sit up in the bed and drink orange soda all day and sleep and forget about the world or whatever. If you were your own child, what would you do? Because if that were me,
that wouldn't be okay.
Right, I'm coming in, okay, I know, baby, I know you tired, I know you don't want to do this and that, but we got to get us some good nourishment, we got to drink some water, we got to make sure that we're bathed and washed, you know, you a little fresh, you're a little ripe in there, so, you know, we going to get in there and clean that up, and be loving with yourself, and be gentle with yourself. In the way that a loving mother would be with her child.
How can you be gentle with yourself that'll help you change your mentality?
Well, I think as Black women, we are under a lot of pressure, extreme pressure. And oftentimes, the stakes are really high for us. But I think, like I said, it all comes back to me in acknowledging the truth.
Okay.
If I'm tired, I need to be able to say I'm tired. Able to admit it to ourselves and forgive ourselves for who we are, and let that be okay. I mean, we can edit this.
Right.
It's gonna be fine, you know, and it's okay because we're sharing this moment. And so really acknowledging, dealing with the truth of who you are, you know, and that's why the separation from technology is really important, because we only see people's best sides when we're on Instagram, when we're on Snapchat, when we're on Facebook, when we're on all these different platforms. You see what people want you to see. You see the you that they want to be presented. But when you're with yourself, you have no choice but to acknowledge every aspect of who you are. Or, I mean, I guess you do have a choice, but the alternative is to be really unhappy. And I for one, would rather do the difficult thing of acknowledging who I am, my shortcomings, and also my talents and skills, and move forward with that, than to live my life unhappy and stressed, feeling like I should be someone who I'll never be. Because I'll always only be me.
So, NK.
Yes.
Since changing your mentality, what benefits have you reaped?
Wow. I would have to say I am always living my best life. You know, people like to use that term.
But you really living your best life.
Yeah, because though I would like for things to go a certain way, I also ride the wave as well. I let things flow. Like I said, remembering things, the things are always changing. So I'm always open to change, and if there's something that I don't like, I change it. If there's something that I can't change, I figure out a way to deal with it. But no, I when I say I love myself, like I really love and enjoy myself, enjoy my own time.
So you gained a greater appreciation and love for yourself.
For sure.
Fell in love with yourself through this process. Okay.
And then that way I'm not only able to express that same love to someone else, but I can teach them to love themselves as well, and just be an example. So I would say that's the probably the greatest blessing of all that. Because even I remember a few years back, I had a coworker that I had worked with, and she moved away to Texas. And when she came back, as soon as she saw me, she started crying, and she said that I didn't even know. Just by interacting with her for a week, we had become close before she left, and she told me that I really taught her to love herself. Wow. And to me, that's the ultimate goal, is to help others in their journey.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. And T?
I would have to say the same, like gaining gaining that deep ability to love myself, to know myself, and what that attracts. Because and the people that it attracts, in loving myself, I attract people who love me, and I attract people whom I love, and that is a beautiful, exactly. It's a beautiful and amazing experience. In knowing myself and acknowledging myself, I've had the opportunity to literally create my own reality
and inspiring others,
like
right. And that's the beautiful thing too, is like I have a lot of similar experiences where people I've met one time, people I may have not seen for years, that whenever we link back up, they're always telling me about something that I said to them, or something that I showed them, or something that I demonstrated, and I don't even remember. Like, and the reason I don't remember is because it wasn't significant. Not that their experience wasn't significant, or the change that it inspired in them wasn't significant, but I was just being who I am. And if who I am just naturally is something that's able to make you a better person, then I want to keep being that. And I want to surround myself with people who are like that. And so that's the biggest benefit that I've gained, is the ability to see and define the world for myself, the confidence to know that I can change the things that I need to in order to be where I'm going, and also the assurity that in following my path of who I am, I'm going where I'm supposed to be.
Always.
And I'm self-assured, and the company's great. Like, I can't lie.
So to round up what we're talking about, our discussion, it may sound like I'm repeating myself, but how important is it for a Black young woman to change their mentality? Like, overall, how like, you know?
I think in order for the forward movement and progression of the race as a whole, it would be wise of us as Black women and Black men to change our thinking and our narrative, just so that we can, like Talia said, pretty much our steps are ordered almost, so you can create your own destiny. And if we are on the same page, and like how we were just saying, us learning to love ourselves help someone else love themselves. So if we come into that along with the Black man coming together with us for that, then we create a dynamic unit in order to now go affect major change in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would echo that. It's critical. It's critical to love yourself. But in order to love yourself, you have to know yourself. But in order to know yourself, you have to spend time with yourself. But in order to spend time with yourself, you have to actually take time for yourself. But in order to take time for yourself, you have to recognize the importance of making time for yourself. And in order to recognize the importance of that, you have to be able to look around you and see what the world is like when you don't do those things, and decide that might be something you want to change.
We ended that on a positive, great note. Thank you guys, you beautiful ladies, for your time and your wisdom, and I hope you guys out here and take what they're giving us, this advice, the love, the sincerity that they have. You know, take it in and try to do better. Once you know better, you got to do better and change your mentality for the better. We're gonna get into song of the day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.